Podtacular $3.99. All the teams for November 14th, 2013.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I'm your host, Duststorm.
And I'm your other host, Brent Gamer.
And you may tell from my voice I'm a little under the weather today. It's because I'm sick with the office bug that's going around. But not to fear, we're still here doing the podcast for you this week. Just don't know how long my voice is going to last out. So, Brent, you may have to carry me a little bit on this one tonight.
Neither rain, nor sleet, nor snow will stop us from Podtacular.
From delivering the Podtacular Halo news.
Nor laryngitis, nor flu, nor cough.
Yeah, I think it's just a cold.
Yeah.
At least I'm hoping it's just a cold. It would be bad if it was anything else.
Yeah, if it were laryngitis, it would sound completely different. I mean, that's awful if you've ever had that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had it.
Yeah, generally it's from yelling too loud. That's how it happened to me. I was yelling a bit too loud and just kind of messed my vocal cords up for a little while. But they're stronger for it now. They're even better than ever.
Yay! We have the sexy Brent radio host voice to grace you every week. So we are thankful for that.
In the Twitch live chat, Pins Halo says gargle warm whiskey to help your throat. So
well,
I guess he wants you to drink a hot toddy or something.
I guess. Only problem is the only alcohol that I keep is amaretto.
I mean, put that in like coffee or tea or something. I mean, it tastes just as good as whiskey.
Yeah, well, I've been like drinking hot chocolate, so that's kind of my remedy right now. And I went out and got some green tea tonight too, so I'm gonna start drinking some of that too. But anyways,
that's the new cocktail, the Dustin. It's amaretto and hot chocolate mixed.
Amaretto. I actually never. Oh man, now I gotta try that too.
That's what I'm saying. That's the Dustin. It's the Duststorm.
I guess I'm gonna have to try that after the show. That's gonna be interesting. Anyways, onto the Halo news for this week. So we have a few things that come down tonight or today in the bulletin that got released yesterday. So of course we have multiplayer updates pretty much throughout the bulletin. So it's nice kind of change of pace a little bit, more multiplayer stuff. But of course, multi-team is back in the hot seat for the rotational playlist, so that's kind of been up there. And the good news about that, though, is they've gone back to the format of 4 teams of 3. So it's no longer the 6 teams of 2, which everyone's kind of had an issue with to begin with. But it's now 4 teams of 3. It's exactly like it was in Reach. And I haven't, unfortunately, had a chance to play the playlist yet. But since I heard about that, I really, really want to and see how it plays for Halo 4. Because that's going to be some awesome stuff. So I'm happy, to say the least. I need to go play it, though, before it rolls over for the next rotational playlist.
Yeah, it always kind of bugged me that multi-team in Halo 4 was like 2 people. I mean, if you want to play with just 2 people, you generally go into doubles or something. You know, I mean, playing with 2 people is completely different than playing with 3 or 4 people. Like, as soon as you have 3 people, the game dynamics change completely.
Yeah, it's quite different. And it's definitely noticeable because, I mean, if you just look at the numbers, you have essentially for the 6 teams of 2, you're 10 on 2 versus when you're going with the 4 teams of 3, you're 9 on 3, which is a little bit more manageable, I think.
I actually support like a playlist called Unfair Halo, where it's 10 people versus 2 people. Like a team of 10 versus a team of 2. And the team of 2 just gets obliterated. But it's made such that like the team of 2 has people that are way overranked, like way more skilled than the team of 10. Like really, that would be like fun for me. Like I would go in there and like try to fight 10 like imagine you and me playing against 10 noobs. Just you and me versus 10 like noobs. I understand that would be unfair for us. We would have way more bullets coming in our direction than them. But it would be fun because we would have to figure out how to overcome that. I realize that's never going to happen, but I like to do it. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. fantasizing a little bit is allowed, at least on this show, at least. So it just flows better, though. I mean, looking at kind of Halo Reach, where how it did the multi-team, and then looking at Halo 4, I think a lot of people definitely liked the 3 teams of or 4 teams of 3 a lot better than the 6 teams of 2. So I think I just need to go in to play it. I need that nostalgia to come back a bit. So hopefully this weekend a bit. And since you have your Xbox back, maybe we can hop on and play a little bit. Yay! Maybe make
I've been
it
too
into
busy with Grand Theft Auto 5. I need to finish that. The only reason I've been playing it so much is because I've rented it, and I need to get it back as soon as possible. But
yeah, that's understandable.
Man, you start playing that game, and you get into the story, but then you go on these tangents, and you don't even know you're going to go on a tangent. There's just so much to do in that world that you just have to do it. I mean, you spend more time just messing around in that world than you do, actually playing through the storyline. It's crazy.
Yeah,
And like a lot of people, I mean, traditionally Grand Theft Auto was about crime. In Grand Theft Auto 5, if you're committing crime, you're playing it wrong. Like, really, that's how I believe it. Like, most of Grand Theft Auto 5 is doing, like, just asinine, crazy, yuppie stuff that you would be doing if you had a bunch of money. You'd be, like, playing golf, you're playing tennis, just driving around, enjoying the sunset. I mean, it's like it's not about crime anymore in Grand Theft Auto. I mean, it is, but for me, the enjoyment I get out of that game is just from the very benign lifestyle stuff you do. But back to Halo. Okay. Yeah, I need to get back into Halo 4 and start playing that. I haven't played Halo 4 in like a month and a half now, I guess. I wasn't able to play through the Ricochet, playlists. I didn't even get to find out whether or not Shotgun Ricochet was fun or not, but
it really wasn't that much.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I didn't really miss anything, but
I managed to have one good game with Green Skull Drax and Biowolf. And it was literally probably the only game of Shotgun Ricochet that I enjoyed. And that was just because we demolished the other team. Really. That was the only reason why it wasn't so enjoyable. But it's just, it doesn't fit for Ricochet. And I think I mentioned this on last week's podcast, where talking with people, even people that voted for Shotgun Ricochet didn't think it was a good game type. So, it is what it is, though. It's come and gone. I do like that the multi-team Regicide was the one that got picked for the multi-team playlist, so I need to go and actually play that and see what that's like. I wonder if they have if multi-team Ricochet is ever going to make a solid appearance in matchmaking. I want to see that get in there.
Yeah.
Because it sounds interesting, and I've actually never played the multi-team Ricochet. Well, granted, I haven't really seen any maps for it yet either, and I would have thought that we would have seen some kind of map like that for the Ricochet Fortune contest, but I guess a lot of people were really looking on that the 2-team thing. So I guess I need to do some digging, see if there's a multi-team Ricochet map, and look at that. So that'd be cool. So 343 had a playdate on Monday. Of course, Monday was when they dropped the multi-team playlist into the rotational playlist slot, and they had their playdate. So they had 5 different people from 343 in the matchmaking games for that night, and they had a few people on. They do interviews with some of the people that they come in contact with over the duration of the game night. So you can go over there and check out some of the replies that they have for, in terms of like what their experiences were for the game night. It was it looks like they had a lot of fun. Of course, multi-team I think is probably one of those hidden gems of Halo where it just kind of, once you get it going, it kind of works, especially with the 4 teams of 3 setup. So it looks like a lot of what was played was Regicide and King of the Hill. King of the Hill I think is classic for multi-team.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, it's one thing to have 2 teams fighting for a hill. When you got 4 teams going at it, it's way
ridiculously fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was definitely it looks like it was a lot of fun, and unfortunately I didn't have a chance to participate in it. So for those that did, I'm sure you probably had fun. For those that didn't, well, we may be going in this weekend. You may be able to come and join us. Yay! So, next up in the bulletin, though, we have the Halo 4 Ricochet Forge contest winners, and personally, I find some of the results kind of just taken aback a little bit. Like I said before, I'm staff over now on Ricochet Hub, and we were going through the maps and just seeing some of the comments. The map that seemed like it was the favorite for everyone was actually not one that was chosen. So I'll go through the winners first before I dive into the one I think is probably the better one. They may have done it more based on artistic view of the map than necessarily playability. But anyways, so these are the top 3 maps that were chosen. If you're watching on the live stream, you should be able to see the pictures of them. So if you've played the maps before, then you'll know what these pictures are, and you'll know what maps these actually are. And these will be added to the Ricochet playlist on November 25th during that matchmaking update. So in third place, we have Inheritor by Squally da Beans. And this is one that I think was kind of mid-tier in terms of likability for the Ricochet Hub people. It has a big hole in the middle of it where the middle ball spawn is, and it's kind of funny to see people just kind of drop in there sometimes when trying to go for that ball. Well, actually, sorry, it's not the ball that's in there. It's actually a sword, and then the ball's on the edge of one of the 2 humps there. But lots of different pathways to take the ball in. There's 3 primary ways you can get the ball in. I think the big way to pull the ball in is through the outside, and on the outside is also a rocket spawn as well. So that's Inheritor. Second place. I guess I should list out the prizes. So the third place prize gets a Certain Affinity T-shirt, which is that kicking ass and making games shirt that they have. They also get an autographed Halo 4 Game of the Year edition signed by the 343 staff, and they also get a Rooster Teeth poster. So, congrats for third place. I think a third place is probably well deserved for that one. Second place is Butter by Purely Fat. So, of
Butter by Purely Fat.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's right. If the map literally just won it based off of context of the map and the creator, then I think that's kind of funny. It actually plays pretty interesting. It wasn't one that was kind of high on the list, I think, for the Ricochet Hub game night, but it's definitely a map that has some good flow to it. There's a lot of interesting dynamic with where the ball spawns and how to get it in. That makes it kind of one of the more interesting maps to play. And whenever I've played Ricochet more and more, this map seems to kind of pop up a little bit more often. It doesn't always get voted for, but whenever it does get voted for, most of the times I've had fun on this map, where some of the other ones I haven't had as much fun. So, have you had a chance to play any of the Ricochet maps, Brent?
No. I've only played Ricochet on the maps that already exist.
The Pit.
I mean, except for Simplex. I played it on Simplex once, but any Forged maps, no.
So, like, the Pit is pretty much all you've played it on?
Yeah, I mean, basically, the Pit.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're going to have to hop into some of these and see what they're all about.
Yeah.
Because these are pretty cool. Yeah. So, this one, it is a symmetrical map across the middle, of course. You have a few different ways to get into the base, and there's a top and bottom floor, essentially. Lots of run-ins from the door that's on the outside that's on the ground level, and then there's kind of a second tier that you can come in from the side that is more accessible from the sniper ball spawn And then there's the rocket ball spawn, which is basically elevated on top of a bridge that kind of cuts into the middle of the map. And the bridge overhangs against the middle ball spawn and has the top ball spawn up there. And that one is kind of the easiest one to score from because you almost have a straight line view into the ground level doorway, and you can pretty much just drop down and throw it in if you have to. Definitely have seen that happen a few times. Or you can run it up and around to the top side of the base, and then you can drop down and drop in. So there's lots of different ways you can actually get into the base and score for this one. So this map, I'm kind of on the edge of actually liking this map as one of my top picks, but definitely not my number one pick, but it's a good pick nonetheless. So the second place winner gets an autographed Halo 4 concept art signed by Certain Affinity. They also get the Certain Affinity t-shirt, the autographed Halo 4 Game of the Year edition signed by 343, and they get a Rooster Teeth poster, and they also get a Halo 4 t-shirt. Not sure which Halo 4 t-shirt it is. There are quite a few out there, so yeah, I guess they get a nice spiffy Halo 4 shirt. It could be the one with the skulls on it. It could be Unity logo print or something, or it could be a cam shirt. I mean, maybe they get a choice of what kind of shirt they want. I'm not sure.
And a lifetime supply of Mountain Dew and Doritos.
It didn't say that, I believe, on the bulletin. Maybe that's something that you know of. I don't know.
That's something you get that they don't tell you about. They're just like, yeah, you get all these Doritos and Mountain Dew for free. It's on us. Just don't tell nobody. All right.
One of those under the table deals, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
They got scared off after Jeff Keighley was accosted for his association with Mountain Dew and Doritos. Do you remember that?
I honestly have no idea what you're talking about.
Jeff Keighley is a games journalist, or whatever they call themselves.
I know
nowadays.
who he is.
People that write about, Jeff Keighley. He runs GameTrailers.com, and I mean, I like Jeff Keighley. Like, I understand Jeff Keighley wants to make money and talk about video games. Like, that's the dream, man. Everybody dreams about that who plays video games. So I'm not going to begrudge him for anything he does to maintain his lifestyle and still critique video games at the same time. Like, that's fine. But in this one instance where he was talking about Halo 4 or something, they had a preview, like right next to him, they had a bag of Doritos and Mountain Dew. It is obviously like product placement. Because at the time they had that Halo 4 like double XP, campaign going on with Doritos and Mountain Dew. It was nuts. But people gave Jeff Keighley a bunch of crap over promoting that, basically, and they still give him crap to this day. They call him the Doritos Pope.
Doritos Pope?
Yeah, they call him Doritos Pope. Like they take this photoshopped image of him sitting next to the Doritos, and they put a Pope's hat on him that's made out of Doritos bags. I mean, it's kind of funny and it's kind of demented at the same time, but
interesting.
Yeah, just a little bit of Halo history for those who weren't around for the Halo 4 marketing campaign with Doritos and Mountain Dew. If you're listening to this, I don't know how you would have been immune to that, but
I honestly didn't even know. Although I don't really.
That was that was a big deal. I mean, it was on bags and stuff. Even if you didn't buy it, you would see it online. And
about Jeff Keighley?
No, I mean just about the double XP.
Oh yeah, I knew about that. Yeah, I didn't know about the Jeff Keighley thing though.
Yeah, that was generally kind of contained to NeoGAF. It's really a NeoGAF meme more than anything else, but it spread.
Got it.
Yep.
Anyways, the last map, the winner of the Halo 4 Ricochet Forge contest is, and I don't think anyone knows how to pronounce this, but it's Hekau. I think it's how you say it, by Mr. Green with a Gun. And this one had a little bit of controversy over like whether it was a good map or not. And there's definitely certain aspects to it. It is visually very pleasing, and it looks kind of cool. But the part on the upper part of the hill is very, very open, and it seemed like a lot of people just died a lot. And I actually went in and forged a little additional extra architecture. And we were going to playtest that at some point. We haven't actually done that yet. But the fact that the map won the first place kind of has me a little... my emotions are a little mixed on this. Because there are definitely those that... At least for the people that played during the Ricochet play. I'm not sure about other people. I haven't really talked to people outside of that. But there seems to be a notion where it has potential, but it's not quite there in terms of playability. So, at least not for the entire game. There are certain parts of it that are cool. Like, the base design is actually pretty interesting. The walkway up to the base, there's actually a little wall, so you can't throw the ball directly in, and if you throw it over, it's not really likely to roll back. And the side entrances are usually pretty defensible, unless you get caught off guard. And some of the spawns are actually a little weird on this one too. People were getting spawn sniped a lot on this map, so the spawns definitely can use some work on this too. So I'm a little interested to know what Certain Affinity's criteria were for actually judging these maps and picking the winners. But nonetheless, Hikau, however you say that, won the first place, and Mr. Green with a gun gets an autographed Champions Bundle poster signed by Certain Affinity, an autographed Halo 4 concept art, Halo Affinity t-shirt, autographed Halo 4 Game of the Year edition signed by 343, Rooster Teeth DVD, Rooster Teeth t-shirt, and a Rooster Teeth poster. So, those are the top 3. Those will be entering the Ricochet playlist. And, so I guess on my mini rant, the one that seemed to be the most favorable out of everyone that participated in the Ricochet Hub play date was actually the map, excuse me, my voice is starting to die a little bit. The map Firestone by Boxing Beats. And this is one that has the underpassage for the middle ball spawn, and it has the 2 on the side, and it has the weird jump to get to the sniper and the overshield. So if you've played the map, you know what it is. And it has that giant middle pillar in front of the base leading up to the scoring zone on either side. And that one seemed to be the personal favorite for a lot of people. So I'm a little shocked that didn't even make a top 3, to be honest. So, but anyways, it is what it is. Congratulations to all the map winners and for winning all the cool swag, all the Halo 4 swag. You guys definitely deserve it for putting all the effort into making the maps, and hopefully we can see some more good maps come out. I would love to see a multi-team Ricochet map come out at some point. I'm a little surprised that we didn't see one in this contest, and maybe there was one and it just didn't hit the top 6 that were up in the running for voting. But I would definitely like to see that. I would definitely like to try playing it. I'd like to see how that would flow. So, for the matchmaking update, which is going to be coming in about a week and a half of this recording, is going to be Dominion. So they're bringing Dominion back into the mix. And the community choice for Dominion is Legendary Dominion, which is using Halo 4's preset Legendary loadouts, which is Battle Rifle, Assault Rifle, and Frag Grenades. Kind of the more traditional Halo experience. Shoddy Sniper Dominion. So people love their Shoddy Snipers for some reason. And Dominion Pro. So it's similar to the Legendary Dominion, except the settings are pretty different. It has the Pro loadouts, which has the 4 primary rifles in the game. So the Battle Rifle, the DMR, the Carbine, and the Light Rifle.
Bolt shot only. Legendary Dominion.
I would not play that whatsoever. I would rage quit if I ever got into one of those games because I don't like the bolt shot. That's just me personally. Yeah. And Godzilla agrees. He's like, no. And Pence Halo says you couldn't pay me to play that either. So I'm glad we have people that are on our side in here. But yeah, so it has the battle rifle, DMR, carbine, and light rifle. All armor abilities are disabled. No motion tracker. So kind of that more competitive playstyle, the Dominion Pro. So that's gonna be interesting. Shotty Snipers has always been kind of a traditional Halo game type mix of weapons for some reason. I personally am not a big fan of it, but I understand other people are kind of enticed to that kind of thing. So
I wonder if that makes you more of a mid-range player. Because, I mean, shoddy snipers, essentially you're choosing between short range or long range.
But the
in
thing
shoddy
is,
snipers,
though,
you don't really have a mid-range option.
no, you don't.
I mean, I like playing mid-range. That's where I do the best. I also like short range, though, too. I mean, you give me a shotgun and a whole bunch of people that don't understand that I have the shotgun and I'm going to kill them with it. Like, I can go on a rampage with that thing in Halo. But
well, most Halo encounters are mid-range.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can. A good Halo player can choose their range. You know what I'm saying? A good sniper will stay at range. A good shotgun player will stay in their base. So that they can play at short range. Stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's usually accounting for other people that are also playing mid-range and short range, though. It's not when everyone is either you're extremely far or you're extremely close. It's just not for me, essentially.
I found the problem with shoddy snipers is that generally it's just snipers. Like, you might as well just take the shotgun out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's the one or two off of the shotgun where you do get like someone either camping or hiding for a certain spot, and then you get the shotgun to the face. But other than that, it's mostly a sniper's game.
Yeah. I mean, if you're that close,
it's just two body shots with the sniper.
Sniping, I mean, you'll just go in for the assassination. It's cooler.
Yeah.
More fun.
Or just the melee, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would personally vote for probably Legendary Dominion. I think the Dominion Pro would be cool, but just in terms of like what most people would probably prefer, probably Legendary Dominion. I would not choose Shotty Snipes. If I want to play snipers, there's a Team Snipers playlist I can go play. Anyway, so if you want to go vote for that, definitely head over to the forums. The voting is already up there for you to go and choose. So on to the Team Slayer playlist update. This whole thing with CSR being reset and changed up a bit. So we've been getting a little bit tidbits and updates on what they're going to be doing with the CSR for Team Slayer. They have set a firm date. So on November 25th, which is a week and a half out of recording this, it's actually going to be the day that the Dominion playlist drops. So the Team Slayer CSR will be reset globally across the board. So whatever CSR that you have now will be wiped out, and it'll be moving to a team-based CSR instead of an individual-based CSR. And then your CSR will be tracked and updated, and it says weekly on Waypoint. So I thought the CSR stuff was pretty much just updated kind of almost hourly. I know it takes a little bit for it to update, but the fact that it says weekly, I wonder why it says weekly.
I have no idea.
So I'm not sure what they mean by the next part here. Starting the next week. Wow, I just misread that. So, the week after that this drops, so the week of the December 2nd, they're going to be posting articles, I think on a weekly basis that showcase the top 200 players in the playlist by CSR ranking. So, they'll be doing that. And they're expecting a lot of people to get to 50, and I believe with this, they're going to probably go and reset this on a regular basis. They didn't say how often that's going to be, but they did say in the weekly bulletin, or the Halo bulletin, that they're going to be updating this on a weekly basis.
Every 6 hours. Complete reset.
That would be way too often.
You got to CSR 5? Too bad.
Yeah, so we'll see. I will definitely not be getting I don't think I'll be getting the 15 Team Slayer. It's not a playlist I play that often. So, that pretty much reaches the end of the matchmaking updates for the Halo Bulletin this week. in the wrap up things, of course, we have the screenshot spotlight, and this week it is the Gravity Hammer. So a few cool ones in here. Some nice forge art, as always. Couple of funny ones in here too. First one for me, I think, would be Hammer Time, followed by Justice, Best Camo, Surge, Green Silhouette, Hammer Recon, and Fluorescence. So lots of different good ones in here. Receptor 17, of course, making another appearance with Green Silhouette.
I think Fluorescence is obviously the winner here, just because of its multitude of odd colors and lighting.
I wonder how they got that effect, really. And I wonder what map that's on. 'Cause that's a really interesting effect. It almost looks like it's a combination of like a green screen and water or something. I'm not sure what that is.
I have no idea. I can only guess, and I can't even guess. Like I don't.
And also Sinister for me. I missed that when I scrolled down. But Reclaimed Halo, he's back in here too. So Sinister also is a good one for me.
Well, I mean, obviously, if Reclaimed Halo is not in a bulletin,
we should try to get him on the show.
It's the exception that proves the rule. He's always there. Always.
I think we need to try to get him on the show, because he takes some awesome screenshots, and we've highlighted a few screenshots in our album art for a podcast. I mean, he is a. I mean, there are a few gamer tags that we see up here almost on a week to week basis, and Reclaimed Halo is definitely one of those. I think from the start of when they started doing these screenshots of the week, it has been up there, and then Receptor 17 is one I've noticed that has been a recent recurrence as well. But I think my personal favorite out of all of them is definitely Hammer Time. Just that, I know I've kind of contradicted myself a little bit, but that flare across the front just seems really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fluorescence just seems psychedelic. So yeah, that's the bulletin for this week. So lots of matchmaking and multiplayer war games updates, of course. So good stuff there. Next week, I believe they're also on the last week of their Spartan Ops fun mode, where they have the Grunt birthday party and a few other skulls on too. So I believe next week is week 10. I don't see that list anywhere, but I remember them putting out a tweet that this week was week 9. So actually it's right here, believe it or not. 9 and 10 are currently available in matchmaking. Oh, so 9 and 10 are currently available right now with the skulls enabled. So yeah, if you want to play the last few episodes of Spartan Ops with the fun skulls on, then you can go over and do that as well. I haven't played Spartan Ops in a while, although I think at some point soon I'm gonna go through the Halo 4 campaign again and Spartan Ops again, because it's always good just to kind of go and relive that story.
Just a little refresher.
Yeah, and I'm wondering when the last time I actually played Spartan Ops was. It was probably at least 3 or 4 months ago, and I still need to finish the book too. I've kind of put it off because of the Halo mole, but I still have plans to finish it. I'm literally almost done. I literally have episode 10 to finish, then the proofread, and then go in and add a bunch of assets to it, and then print it. So,
well, if you need a co-op partner, I'm always there for Spartan Ops. I'll go through the entire Spartan Ops series for you.
Nice.
No joke. I love Spartan Ops, really. I mean,
it's a lot of fun.
Cooperative
especially
campaigns
with friends
are always fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a good extension of the story. So it's
Eggheads.
One of those experiences. Of course, I knew that was coming. That was only for the first 5 episodes, though. Thankfully, it wasn't throughout the entirety of the experience, which was nice. I'm looking to see what they're going to do with it with Halo 5, though. How they're going to extend that story.
Obviously, no, I'm saying in Halo 5, Sarah Palmer will say eggheads at least once, and if she says it once, it will only be sarcastically. It will be for your enjoyment, for your humor.
Maybe.
Really, I'm not joking. They understand that eggheads is something that, I mean, it's symbolic of a character that didn't get fleshed out as much as she needed to in the actual campaign. I mean, people wouldn't be talking about that if she were actually a fleshed out character and that were just her catchphrase. That would be awesome. Like, people would be like, yeah, eggheads, Sarah Palmer's awesome. Like, but no, they hate Sarah Palmer. And it's not because she's a bad character, it's because they didn't flesh her out. They didn't actually give her the time to develop her character or show people what she is as a character. I mean,
well, I think that's one of the reasons why they have Spartan Initiation and then they have Spartan Assault, pretty much.
Yeah,
let's kind of extend that story.
I'm saying it's not enough to give your character some sort of weird side story on a game that, a very small, I mean, not small, but a smaller portion of your player base than the people who are actually playing the main game get. I mean, how many people played Spartan Assault versus how many people played Halo 4? A very small percentage of Halo 4 players played Spartan Assault.
Right. Yeah.
Most of them, the only exposure they had to Sarah Palmer was the awful dialogue they gave her during Spartan Ops. And then that little bit of, oh man, I thought you'd be taller in the main campaign.
Well, so the campaign was pretty much supposed to be focused on Chief, so I can understand that.
I'm saying, if you're going to introduce a character, you might as well go all the way. I mean, when you introduce a character with, I thought you'd be taller, like that's not building your character up. That's building your protagonist up. Give me a reason to care about Sarah Palmer. I mean, when the Chief met Sarah Palmer should have been like kicking ass and taking names. The Chief should have been impressed with Palmer, not the other way around.
I could see that. I could see that.
Spartan, you are super competitive. You hate the other Spartans because they might be as good as you. That's the entire point of the Spartan program, like the war games they have. That's the point. Majestic hates Crimson. I mean, they don't hate each other, but they are really competitive.
Well, yeah, that's the Spartan Force though. That's not how the Spartan 2s grew up at all.
I'm saying even they would be so egotistical as to want to be as good or better than the Spartan 2s. If I went up to a Spartan 4 and said, "Oh, the Spartan 2, they're way better than you. I mean, you guys are just you're jokes compared to Spartan 2s," he would punch me in the face and kill me, just like Chief killed those Marines. I mean, or ODSTs. It's the same concept. They're super competitive. They have way more testosterone than they need.
I don't think the Chief is. I don't think any of the Spartan 2s were engineered like that though.
They were picked for their genetic propensity towards violence and intelligence.
Right, but not towards. I don't know. I think it doesn't bug me that much, I guess personally, but that's just me. I do agree that there could have been a little more character development with Palmer in the campaign, but I think we got a good amount of it in the second half of Spartan Ops, and they obviously kind of, I think they pretty much saw the flaw in the character development there, and that's why they're going all this extra length. But it also is kind of it brings up an interesting question too, where it seems like they're focusing a lot more on Palmer as the next primary character after Chief is gone. Where it seemed like for a little while Thorn was going to be that Chief replacement that was going to be at Halsey's side. Maybe we'll see something different in Halo 5, but there's a lot of emphasis right now on Palmer as a main character of the Halo series. And that's really odd to me. Because there's people that have so many different feelings about her, and is probably one of the more controversial characters in Halo right now. Aside from Halsey and pretty much Halsey. Come to think about it, so I don't know why they're. I mean, it's cool that they're exploring this other aspect of Halo, but why pushing this so much? What plans do they have down the road that Palmer is such an integral part of? It seems like they're pushing this for some strange reason, and I'm not exactly sure why. But anyways, earlier this week they also announced some of the achievements that are going to be coming to the Xbox platform versions of Spartan Assault. And these achievements are going to be separate from the Windows 8 version. So if you have the achievements on the Windows 8 platform, if you play on your PC, tablet, or a phone, they're going to be separate achievements that you can unlock, so you can go and get more gamer score for going back and just playing the same thing again. And I still haven't 100% person on Spartan Assault. I haven't played it, honestly, since I originally went through the campaign. I haven't even played the DLC yet. So I need to go through and actually do that and get go for achievements too. But aside the point, we have the achievements list, and there are some additional achievements that they're adding for the Xbox platform specifically. Some of those that are co-op, some of those that are Xbox One exclusive, believe it or not. And it's a little interesting how they broke this up too, because all the achievements that they have on the Xbox platform for the 360 are worth double on the Xbox One. And you can also play this on both sides, and you'll be able to get double the achievements. So they still don't say in here whether or not, if you buy it on the Xbox One, if it's available on 360 or vice versa. It could be up in their official page. I'd have to go and check real quick. But there are, of course, you have the exclusive things on the Xbox platform, like the co-op, extra DLC, and all that stuff. But I don't think they've still clearly defined whether or not, if you buy it on the Xbox One, then you can play on 360 and vice versa. But anyways, the achievements listed, of course, you have all the original Spartan Assault achievements. So for each operation for the Xbox 360, you get 10 gamer score. For the Xbox One, you get 20. Let's see. Actually, I think most of the points for the Xbox 360 are the same as the Windows 7 platform. And then, of course, the Xbox One version is double. So I'm not going to go through those too much. I'm going to hit the special ones, I guess. So, and of course, they have a blog or a headline entry for this too. So it'll be linked in the show notes as well. So you can just click there and you'll be able to go and see what the achievements are. So for the Xbox platform specific stuff though, for the co-op achievements, we have Flooded, which is to complete all co-op missions, and that is worth 30 gamer score for the Xbox 360 and 60 for the Xbox One. There is Overachiever, which is earn all co-op medals at least once, and that's worth 50 gamer score on Xbox 360 and 100 gamer score on the Xbox One. Dynamic Duo, which is earn all gold stars in all co-op missions. That is 30 gamer score for the 360 and 60 gamer score for the Xbox One. Extermination, which is kill 10,000 enemies in co-op, which is 30 gamer score in 360 and 60 gamer score in Xbox One. So that is a lot of playing. And then The Company of Strangers. Complete a co-op mission with at least 5 different players. That is 10 gamer score on the Xbox 360 and 20 gamer score on the Xbox One. They have some Xbox One exclusive achievements, so they have 2 of those. The first one is the enemy of my friend. Get a higher individual score than your partner on all co-op missions, and that is worth 100 gamer score. And then Immune. Finish a co-op mission without being infected, which is 100 gamer score. And Godzilla, I'm not sure what you're talking about because I bought it on the PC for Windows 8, and then I went and downloaded it on my Windows Surface. So it definitely transfers on the Windows platform. So I'm not sure. I did have to go into my store and download it there. Like if I went to the store on my Surface, because I at first downloaded on my PC, it definitely still showed up as I needed to buy it for $7.99. But if I went into my purchase history, I could go and download it without having to pay for it twice.
It's kind of weird.
Oh, not to Windows Phone. Oh,
yeah, it's
yikes. Okay.
I feel like Microsoft needs to understand the idea of buy it on one system, own it on every system. I mean, if you buy Spartan Assault on Xbox or Surface or Windows Phone, you should be able to play it on every Windows or Microsoft device you have that can support it.
I think if they're like for the same, if it's tied to the same achievement system, then yes, I agree.
I'm saying at this point, you would gain more goodwill by, say you bought Spartan Assault on your Windows tablet or phone. And now Microsoft is giving you Spartan Assault for free, or not free. They're just letting you, download it again on your 360. Wouldn't that be good? Wouldn't you think that Microsoft was a nice company for letting you do that? I mean, wouldn't you feel more, included in the Microsoft kind of consumer sphere or whatever they call it? I mean,
consumer sphere. I get what you're saying, but yeah. Huh. So interesting.
I know that.
I didn't know that the Windows Phone 8 version was separate from the tablet or the Windows PC version. That's unfortunate.
MS loves money.
Yeah.
Count on Microsoft to make money.
Yeah.
Not necessarily make a lot of money, but they will ask for money at every interval.
They're going to milk that cow. I think that's going to be... I mean, if it comes out to be that way, that's going to be one of the Halo's downfalls, is the fact that they're trying to milk this thing so freaking much.
They got rid of their weird employee-like ranking system, though, now, so... Maybe, possibly, you will see Microsoft put out some decent stuff in the future, now that they don't have pyramid scheme ranking.
So, that's the additional achievements that we get, aside from the ones that were already available in the Windows Phone versions. So I know I will be buying it for the Xbox platform. If they are separate purchases, I'll probably be that sucker and buy it on both anyways. And it's probably only $7 again. So, I mean, $14 for the game, I guess, isn't too bad. So, and of course, I mean, we're a Halo podcast, do Halo stuff, sucker for Halo things. So,
hey, I'm no sucker. I'm like Halo.
Well, maybe not you.
I'm not a sucker, man. I know what's up. I'm not making fun of Halo fan for life. I'm just saying.
All right.
I'm saying really, like, I'm not a sucker. Like, that's the point. Halo fan for life thinks. I'm not saying he thinks it. For some reason, in the past, he implied in a tweet that I podcast for fame, fans, and favors or whatever. Like some sort of, like, I don't get anything for this. I don't get paid. I don't have any fans. There's nobody that like goes to RTX with "I'm not Brent Gamer," written all over their chest or something. Like, I have no. I mean,
except for Jess.
I have a couple fans.
Except for Jess.
Yeah, but I'm saying I was starstruck by Jess. I mean, I love Jess. I mean, I loved Jess before she was a 343 member. I mean, she came onto our show, and she was a really cool guest host. I mean, I liked Jess back when she was doing her blogging stuff as BS Angel.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying that I didn't start that relationship, and I'm not saying that in a weird way. I'm saying I didn't start my talking to BS Angel when she was with 343. We started talking to her back when we were just podcasters and back when she was just a blogger.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean. Yep.
We're not doing this for some sort of like nepotism at 343. We don't get any, favoritism from 343 at all. I mean, if we get anything at RTX from 343, it's just because they understand that we're active in the community and
right. Yeah, I'm right there with you, buddy.
I know. I'm just I just felt like I needed to defend myself against the charge that I was somehow getting favoritism or perks or some sort of swag from 343 as a result of the stuff I say on the podcast. No. I would be surprised if anybody at 343 listened to our podcast other than maybe, BS Angel and Bravo.
Uh-huh.
I mean, maybe, possibly.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they listen to it that often, unless we send it to them.
If you're a community manager, it would be your job to listen to community podcasts. Like, you wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they can't listen to everything either. That off my chest. It's all right. They can't listen to everything, though. There,
I don't get anything for this. I don't receive perks or anything. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. I'm honest with my critique of Halo.
Right. I'm right there with you, boy. A couple other things, random things, just noticing in the blog. Hoping to kind of pull these out a little bit more often and dig a little bit more into the other Halo news stuff. But this is something that I think is kind of really cool. and I think I may pick it up. But they have a Halo Legendary Edition of Risk now. So I think they had one previously before. I think for Halo Wars. I think for Risk.
Yeah, it was out for Halo Wars around that.
Yeah,
I love Risk. I didn't play the Halo Wars version of Risk because I can only play it online. I can never find enough people to actually play Risk in real life. It takes about 5 people to get a good game of Risk going.
Well, it takes for a while too.
Oh yeah, it's a long game, especially if you have a bunch of people who understand the game and know how to play it right. Like you can keep that game going on for an extremely long time. It's the same way with Monopoly, but
yeah. Is there a Halo Monopoly?
Maybe.
I don't think there's an official one.
I don't think there is.
I would love to see an official one. But
I want
yes.
Broadway would be. I mean, it couldn't be like any one Halo because they're all basically the same. So what would it be? I mean, would
I don't
Broadway
know. That's a good question.
Something like
that's a very good question.
Right?
Well, so what would you put for Park Place?
The Ark would be one, and then like Park Place would be
Requiem or Onyx.
Earth.
Earth. I don't know. You could do a lot of different things with a Halo Monopoly.
I would be more interested in like the extra rules. Like every version of Monopoly that like comes out as a franchise piece always has like some extra rule that kind of ties it into the franchise. So I wonder what they would do with Halo. Like if you have possession of like one or more Halos, you can activate them and just kill everybody. They have to send all their money back to the bank.
So I think I might pick this up. I haven't played Risk in a while, even just the regular board game. And the interesting thing about this one is they have 4 different maps that you can play on. And I wonder if it's going to be architecture, or not architecture, but areas from Halo. So if like Reach is going to be one of them, Harvest is going to be another one, or any other areas that we've been playing on before, like maybe certain parts of Halo that we've played in the games. I wonder if we're going to see any of that kind of stuff in this game. Like, I guess for Reach, that'd be an interesting one to have a map for. Just because we had Halo Reach, and you'd probably be able to pick out like where certain parts of the map are in correlation with the campaign. So yeah, there's that. There's also we haven't talked about anything Mythic Tyrant related in a while, but he recently posted a video that is his full Mythic run through of the campaign. And apparently there's this movement to get Blind Skull removed from the requirement for the Mythic difficulty because of just how difficult it is to roam with Blind Skull. And ever since the beginning when Blind Skull was introduced, it always took away the ability to see your weapon. So you never knew quite exactly what weapon you were shooting or what grenade you had chosen. So it was very difficult. And apparently there's a movement to have the Blind Skull removed from Mythic and Lazo, and or just get it altered to where you can actually see your gun.
Yeah, too bad. You got to play it the right way. That's traditionally how the Blind Skull's always been applied.
But I see the case for being able to at least see your weapon, because you're not removing your HUD at that point. You're removing any first-person view.
Yeah, but
you would still see your weapon if you didn't have your HUD.
Even if your weapon's there, it's not going to help you really aim. I mean, in any sort of weapon animation on your HUD is
actually
basically smoke and mirrors. I mean, it might help you aim a little bit, but it's not really helping you, I don't think. People want reticules. They want to be able to. I mean,
yeah, reticles is one thing, but it makes
real guns have crosshairs. That's a real thing. Like, people use those. It's essentially Blind Skull takes the reticule away from you. So, I mean, having a little bit of gun animation on the screen isn't going to help you that much, I don't think.
I would say otherwise. I think it would actually help quite a bit. Because at least you'll know what you're shooting, for one. and it does help you give us unless you like mark your TV with like where your reticle would be, which is kind of against the whole feeling of what Mythic and Laser are for. But if you go through and if you have that weapon, it at least gives you a better idea of where your center is. I think it really does.
I'm saying the center is in the center of your TV. Generally, I mean, really, the reticule center is in the middle of your TV.
Well, a little bit, the middle and lower a bit, but it's not. If you don't have the reticle there, you don't exactly know where that is just by looking at your TV. It's not that easy to determine. Okay, is the enemy I'm looking at really lined up with the middle of my TV where my reticle is? It's not.
For instance, like after a match finishes in Halo, and the reticules go down, you can still keep shooting. I have shot people in the head just by understanding that if their head is in the middle of my screen, it's probably going to hit in the middle of my reticule, or where it would be if it were there. I'm like,
but you also have a lot of other things to help reference you to where that is. You have the menu overlay of what's happened last in, and you just had the reticle too. So you have a general idea of where to still look. But if you're looking around and you're walking around a map, you lose that sense of where that middle is really quickly.
I'm saying you can get that sense real quick by firing your weapon. If you fire your weapon, you can understand.
In Mythic and Lazo, every shot counts.
All right, I'll give you that. But I'm saying one shot, like really, one shot will be the difference between you and finishing a legendary or like Lazo map.
Sometimes.
You shot,
have famine on.
A single shot.
I mean, it's you're not always going to get off of one shot either.
I'm saying you can go through a Lazo map and miss a whole bunch of shots, still finish it. I mean, not a whole bunch, but miss some shots and finish it.
Yeah, but those shots are a lot more critical in Lazo and Mythic. Anyways, I can see
Why would you play like that anyway? Like, I mean, I understand playing like that, but
there is the armor for one.
I don't know.
And it's nostalgia. It's, for some people, that's the challenge. For some people, the challenge is multiplayer. For some people, the challenge is doing the campaign stuff.
If the challenge is for nostalgia, the skulls originated in Halo 2. That's where the nostalgia comes from. And Blind was one of the first skulls in Halo 2. I think Blind, that was the first skull. You got that in the Metropolis map in Halo 2.
It wasn't the first skull.
Old Mombasa.
The first skull was on Cairo Station.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You had to... But I'm saying the first skull that you could have found without having understood the skulls. I mean, they found the Cairo Station skull significantly later after the advent of understanding the skulls were there. Just because you had to... The Cairo Station skull was weird because you had to hold down the X button to grab the skull, but you were going down in this elevator that was going really fast, so if you didn't hit X at all, you wouldn't have even understood it was there. Like, they don't show you the skull. You had to be in a very specific spot holding down the X button while you passed by the skull to pick it up. The first skull people found was the new Mombasa skull that had Blind in the Jackal sniper alley. That's the first one they found.
Fair enough. But I can understand where they're coming from when there's certain parts of the game that require Mythic and Lazo to be done. Yeah. And with the blind skull requirement. So, I don't know. Maybe I need to talk to him about it too.
I really don't care. When you're putting on skulls...
And that's fine.
You're just changing the game in a way that the developer meant but really didn't mean. You're basically just adding on difficulty with each skull, and now they're complaining because the difficulty attached to this skull was too bad. Like, they're like, oh man, I can't play with Blind. It's too much, man. I could play with Mythic where all the enemies have super health and know exactly where I am and shoot me right in the face every time they see me, and I can play with, Iron where I don't regain health. I have to punch enemies in the face, but I can't deal with not knowing where my reticle is. I can't shed a crocodile tear for those people because the entire point of skulls is to increase the difficulty of the game. That's the point.
Okay. You've made your argument. And I see where you're coming from. But I also see where just with not having the weapon there, it does kind of lose a feel of just I don't know. It definitely seems that there's some good reason to this, and the fact that people like Louis Wu and Green Skull and Naked Eli are behind this movement too, and Naked Eli is a big proponent of doing Lazo and Mythic. Like he likes that kind of challenge, but the fact that he's kind of behind this effort, there has to be something else going on, that the Blind Skull is just making it ridiculously difficult to where it's just unreal, especially for him because he's a hardcore Halo player.
I don't know.
I get what you're coming. I get where you're coming from too.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I don't care. Like if they want to make it easier or harder, I don't know enough about it to have an opinion each way. I mean, I'm just saying from my small bit of knowledge about Halo Skulls. I mean, the entire point is to make Halo harder. It's to make the campaign harder. I mean, that was the initial point of the skulls. Like, you could put them on. They didn't make the game easier. They made it harder. I mean, generally, when you had a cheat in a game, it made the game easier. But this was one of the first, like, examples of a video game putting a bunch of cheats in the game that make it tougher. That's why the skulls were popular, because every skull you put on it made the game harder. And like I understand, I understand completely. If you mess up the way you play the game, if it messes up the way you view the screen or the way you are able to shoot people in the head, yeah, that's annoying and stuff. I'm just saying, for something that was initially made to make the game harder, it's kind of hypocritical to say, oh man, this is terrible because it's making the game too hard.
I can see that. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. But I'll reach out to him and see if there's a little more backstory behind this. So yeah, that's out there. Of course, with that video is his full Mythic run through. So definitely go check it out. It's 6 hours long if you have the time. So yeah. I think that's going to be it for the waypoint related stuff. We have a couple of submissions that we're going to go through before we wrap things up for the night. So, and then a couple more announcements at the end, and then we'll call it quits. I'm surprised my voice has actually lasted this long, to be honest. So for our first submission, we have actually, Brent, if you want to go ahead and read that one, because I want to address the next one.
All right. Truth Ronan says, "Hey Podtacular, I'm a longtime Halo fan from Australia, literally the other side of the world. Started with Halo 1 and since then have been engrossed by all the games and literature. I enjoy your podcast and appreciate you and your guests exploring the different dimensions of Halo. I don't have too much time to pick up a controller, so it's great to hear the Halo multiplayer exploits you and your buddies and the community get up to. Very envious. I wish smiley face. Anyway, I thought it might be it may be interesting to spend an episode or a chunk of time exploring the future of the Halo TV series. For example, what do we want to see from it, how it might be presented, and maybe expanding on 3 desired story arcs. This may be an opportunity to also talk about some of the good fan-inspired fiction out there outside the books. Take it easy, mate. Truth Ronan."
I think that's actually a very good idea. The Halo TV series is supposed to be dropping in the spring, I believe. So yeah, it definitely gives us room to talk about that. Actually, wow, that's a really good idea. Thank you, Truth Ronan. We were actually talking about before the show with the folks in the live stream about wanting people to send in ideas, and this is actually a really good idea. You do bring up an interesting point about doing fan-inspired fiction, and there are a few machinima people out there. I believe Operation Chastity was one that was done that's Halo related that we wanted to get on at some point, but we just kind of lost gears in contact with them, and I know some people to get in touch with to kind of get that ball rolling. But there have been some big Halo productions that have come out. I need to get back with Rob Ems and see what's up with Game Changers too. But yeah, there's definitely lots of different communities out there, especially for people that have done fan-inspired fiction. I mean, we could even get Leviathan on to talk about Fistful of Arrows. We haven't even done that yet, and that's a big thing.
Is there any fan fiction out there like involving Lasky and Palmer? Because I feel like those really, like, they're the perfect couple. Really? I mean,
There has to
if
be
Lasky
somewhere.
doesn't fall in love with Palmer by the end of Halo 5, I'm going to be a sad panda.
I'm not going to touch that just yet. I'm going to leave that for when we have a little more info about Halo 5 coming out. So, yeah, Pence Halo said, dropped that there was a live action series of Dirt called Helljumper. There was that too. I forget who did that. I have a few people I can talk to though and try to figure it out. We have a couple more submissions. Next one we have from the person that I said donated $3 from Poland. So he writes in. His name is Typhon. I think is how you say it. It's Typfon. So I'm gonna say it's Typhoon or Typhon. He says, "Yes, we are listening here in Poland. Thank you for making great work on Halo community around the world in this dark days in Halo history. Love Typhon. P.S. I prefer that you use my gamer tag and not my first and last name." So yeah. Typhon, thanks again for the donation. Really appreciate it. Any amount helps to help keep the site up and running. So really appreciate it. Thank you for listening all the way from Poland. That's wow. Can't believe the Polish are listening. And we got people all around the world. I think I mentioned this last time or earlier this year. We use WordPress for our website, and we have Jetpack enabled on it too. So we get yearly like fun stats report, and I think our site was accessed by more than 130 different countries last year. So I'm interested to see what it's going to be like this year once we turn over. See if it's gone up or if it's the same. So, but yeah, thanks again for the donation. Really appreciate it. If you guys want to donate, there's a donate button on our homepage. You don't have to donate much, but any bit helps to help pay the bills for the site. I mean, everything comes out of my pocket right now. So we don't do ads. We don't do any kind of revenue generating stuff. At least for now. It's been something that I've tried to keep away from. There may be opportunities that may change that in the future, but if that ever happens, I'll definitely let the community know and see what their thoughts are on it.
What if the Food Network decided to sponsor our podcast? They're like, we want to get into video gaming. We know we're a.
First, I would think that would be crazy, and second, I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, Mark Summers comes to you. He says, "Yes, I'm the CEO of Food Network, and I want Podtacular to become part of the Food Network family."
Yeah, I don't think that would ever happen. It'd be hilarious, but I don't think it'd ever happen.
Oh yeah, it'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Gosh. All right. Last one we have here.
All right, I'll get it.
Okay.
Kyle Stevens says, "Hey guys, on November 29th, Black Friday, starting at 9 a.m., I'm live streaming the entire Halo series of games, live on twitch.tv. It's a fundraiser for Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Going to play till I'm finished every game, whether it takes 24, 36, or 48 hours. The announcement is going to be on the Waypoints news section, and to donate and get all the information, please feel free to go over to facebook.com/Halo Project Fundraiser. Thanks, guys. Love the podcast. Kyle." So,
very cool.
Yeah.
I wonder why he's choosing Black Friday of all days.
Why not? I mean,
it's better than having to deal with all the shoppers, right?
Yeah, I mean, all these people have disposable income that they're going to waste on clearance items that they may or may not get, depending on whether or not they're the first 5 people there. So,
I guess. I don't think your announcement is up on the Waypoint News yet because I've looked a bit and I didn't see it, but that's pretty cool. I will say, when I did my run through a few years ago for Halo 1 through Halo Reach, it took me about 24, 25 hours. I don't know what difficulty you're going to be playing on. I played on Heroic, so if that gives you a time estimate, that might help a little bit. But that's really cool. Once it's announced, I may go ahead and repost it on Podtacular. We'll see. But I'll keep an eye out for it on the Waypoint blog. So that'll be cool. That pretty much wraps it up for the night. I did want to talk about a few other things, but we have gone on for a good lengthy hour and 10 minutes. So we got quite a bit of content here, hour 15 minutes or so. But yeah, thanks to everyone for listening. We really appreciate it. I keep running into more and more people online that say they listen to the podcast and they really love it. And it's really humbling, even though that we don't get as many listeners as we used to when Halo was first big and Halo 4 first dropped out. But it's really cool to see the love that you guys have for the podcast, and it's really inspiring just to keep going for you guys. So thanks for all the support that you guys have. And if you do manage to run into me on online, I have been known to give away a few codes to people for saying they love the podcast if they recognize me and I don't recognize them back. So it's a small world, apparently. But yeah, appreciate every single one of you guys that listen and for keeping it with us every week, for sharing us with your friends and being loyal listeners to the show. Even in the times when Halo is kind of at a lull. So really appreciate you guys. And again, anything that you guys have that you want to see different changes about the podcast, you're more than welcome to drop us feedback. And it would be really, really appreciated. So
no more Brent Gamer ever.
I don't think we would ever hear that. If we did, I would. I would. I don't know what I would do.
No Brent, no rent, no Brent, no rent, no Brent.
Anywho. On that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the night, guys. Thank you. This has been episode 399. Next week, episode 400. Wow. So many episodes.
That's 4 times 100.
Very astute of you, Brent. We will be announcing a couple giveaways that we'll be doing. So it's something that you don't want to miss. We will be taking off after. So we're going to take off the week of Thanksgiving. So November 28th, we're not going to be doing a show. November 21st, that's going to be episode 400. Nothing special in terms of what we're going to be doing on the podcast other than the announcement of a couple of giveaways. And that will be in terms of codes. We may give away a couple shirts, maybe. There's some Podtacular shirts that might be able to hand off to somebody. And a couple other things that some people have gone out and been willing to gift as giveaway stuff, and maybe something to talk to Jess about too, about getting some giveaways as well. I have a couple of map pack codes I think I can give out. Avatar stuff, Avatar goodies. So we'll see. Yeah, so definitely tune in for next week. It's going to be episode 400. Don't know. I guess we could try to get someone special on. See if we can get. Yeah, I'll reach out to people and see if we can get on, who we can get on. But that wraps it up for tonight. Thanks again for listening. Remember, you can tune into us live on Twitch every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, which is when we do our podcast. You can head on over there, and you can also subscribe. So whenever we do go live for the podcast, or for Wacky Wednesday, which is on Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, then you can get a notification in your email saying that we're going live. So we have some interesting discussions sometimes in the chat. Not many people on right now, but whenever we do get a good amount of people on, the chat is usually rolling pretty well. So definitely check us out on Twitch. You can also check us out on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. Announcements for YouTube stuff also will be coming for next week as well. And also some site-specific stuff, so you won't want to miss that episode. Even if not there live, we would like to have you be there live with us. But if you can't, then just downloading the show, of course, would be good. You can also send us an email or a voicemail so we can play it on the show or read it on the show. Any comments, feedback you guys have about anything that we've discussed on this show, past shows, or anything you want us to discuss on future shows, definitely drop us a line at submissions@podtacular.com. Or you can call the listener voicemail at 240-200-HALO. That's 240-200-4256. So with that, Brent, it's been another wonderful podcast.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So, on that note, keep on fragging, having to buy extra editions of the same game on different platforms.
Keep on fragging fluorescent light bulbs.
What? Where'd that come from?
Yep, fluorescence.
Oh. Nice.